Hello, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've been like face to face on camera. It's weird, but I'm just gonna do a bit of like a slow morning in the kitchen, really. There's like a few different bits that I sort of need to do. Got like a nice breakfast planned. So yeah, let's just get straight into it and get some bits done in the kitchen that need doing. So just starting off with putting some of the dishes away. There was bits that had just been, I'd washed them up and then left them on the side. I'm absolutely terrible for this. I will genuinely leave stuff on the side until the next time I wash it up. Like, I don't just wait for it to dry. I just wait until I can be bothered, which is not a good trait, but I'm trying to work on it. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Also very clumsy and apparently drop things all over the place, which it's honestly just the story of my life at this point. I'm really sorry if you can hear my washing machine in the background. I've literally got like the washing machine, dehumidifier on, like everything's on currently. I picked a bad day to do this for sure. Now I'm hoping this is ripe enough. I don't think it is, but there's the toast. This is really tough, but it's the only avocado I have, so we're going with it. What I tend to find is if it's really ripe, I basically just like cut into it more. God, this is really not. Do not use this as like a demonstration for knife skills. This is really bad. So basically, hopefully you can hear me over the washing machine. So normally I would just go with that and then just sort of like scoop it out and mash it up a bit more. When it's really, like when it's quite hard still, I basically just do extra cuts while it's still in the skin. So essentially just like cutting it up even smaller before actually mashing it. I just find that especially when, you know, the avocado isn't quite ready yet, but it's all that I've got in the kitchen, this just sort of helps. And we're dropping avocado everywhere. Great start. I'm just going to pick it up afterwards at this point. Let's see just how difficult this is going to be to mash. Normally I would do this in a little bowl or something, but because it's really hard, I'm going to do this on here. And I basically just take like little bits at a time. Like I don't try and go in and mash the whole lot all in one go. God, this is really hard. I should have just said no avocado this morning. But does anyone know like a way to ripen up avocados? So I thought that sort of like having them in your fruit bowl would help like ripen them up a bit quicker. Apparently not. Maybe it depends on like what fruit you've got in there, I don't know. Are there recipes with chopped avocado? Because this would be brilliant. I'm genuinely thinking a masher would be easier. Right, okay, this is getting embarrassing, so I am gonna do this off camera. I honestly found it easier to just sort of like mash it up like this So it's almost more like finely diced avocado as opposed to like mashed, but it'll do the job. So I've actually found having like eggs and avocado on toast, as much as, yeah, it's annoying, one of the yolks split, and I also definitely overcooked this, you will see later, but I've found that it's one of the best meals, like when I'm working from home and I have the time to do this, I just feel so much more full than when I have something else. So this is like, at one point it was my like hyperfixation meal, and I had it so much to the point where then like the thought of it was sort of like making me feel a bit sick, and then I didn't have it for ages. Is anyone else like that? Like it's really bad. I need to just have more variety in general so that I don't get like hyperfixated on a meal and then get sick of it. But that's just me. But anyway, this is one of my favourite meals for like a slow morning at home. And if you're not putting paprika on your eggs, what are you doing? Just try it. Honestly, trust me, try it. Smoked paprika specifically. Honestly, I'd normally have a much runnier yolk than that, but I left it for too long. But still, it's gonna be a lovely breakfast. So I also just had like a bit of meal prep to do for the week. I'm having like a bit of a picky bits lunch, and that for me, I try and do it like picky bits, but with making as much of it as I can myself, and like not having loads of like random like processed snacks and things like that I can buy from the shop. Obviously, absolutely no hate to anyone who does that. If that is the life that you either need to live or you're choosing to live, go for it, you do you. But me personally, I'm trying to reduce the amount of like processed food that I'm eating. And so for me, like little snacks like boiled eggs, staple, absolute staple. I am starting to slightly get the egg ick a little bit though, so I do need to like come up with a good high protein snack that is just as easy as doing the boiled eggs. I did also this week, I cooked a ham and then decided to have that. I honestly, I don't even know if I've ever cooked a ham, and as you can see, I clearly have never cut one up before, but I did my best, and that's what matters. So yeah, hopefully over time I will get much better at doing this. I need one of those like prong things that go into it rather than the fork, because the fork was just, everything was just slipping about all over the place. It was not good. But, you know, it worked and it did the job, and that's what matters. So this will then be like part of my lunch for the week. And then I totally didn't eat that little bit because it wouldn't fit in the tub, you know? Like, it had to get eaten there and then. One thing I love to do on like a little slow kitchen morning is just make some coffee. Like, I get this, it's the St. Martin's Chameleon blend. It's the like house coffee for the cafe that's like at my work, and I'm obsessed with it. But because it's not the cheapest of coffee, it's definitely then like more of a treat sort of thing. I don't actually know how much you're supposed to put in when you do like with a French press. I used to be a barista, but obviously you don't use a French press. It's like an espresso machine. Now I would just leave that there to brew. What I then tend to do, I used to use like a whole like proper like milk frother thing But now I actually just use this little like hand whisk. I just put the milk into the mug, warm it up, and then use that to make it nice and frothy. Now that that is nice and hot, it's like my little, is it Blue Peter? My little Blue Peter moment. It's like, here's one I made earlier. And then I just use the milk frother and just froth it up. Basically, the more air you get into it, like on the top, that's going to create more foam, which is then going to be more like a cappuccino. But then if you're basically just using it to make like the actual milk more like silky, I guess would be the word, then that's more like a latte. Just a little tip from my barista days. Obviously it's very different using something like this to an actual milk frother, but that's basically, with the milk frother, you just be like putting air into it. You're just essentially aerating the milk, like adding air to it, and you just add more to different areas depending on the type of milk that you're doing. So it's obviously different milk for like a flat white and a latte and a cappuccino, etc, etc. I always found it like sort of easiest to do cappuccino because it's just sort of like foam, but then like latte and flat white, it's more about like heating the milk and getting it like that, like, I don't want to use the word silky because people who haven't been in that industry probably don't know what I mean, but that is the kind of word that we used to use. So this is why I said you don't actually need much milk, because you end up getting loads of like foam and froth from doing that. And then now I'm just going to wait for this to finish brewing. That was thinking about very different to how it does, like, you know, how it used to back in the day when I was a barista, but still nice foamy milk and a nice coffee for a nice slow morning. So I don't do this every morning, but sometimes Matilda needs feeding, so that's what we're doing this morning. So I just start by discarding some of the starter, and then basically just going to use, so mine's a wholemeal starter, and then I'm just going to add in flour and water of roughly equal amounts. I'm not really bothering with it too much in terms of measurements, as I know that I will probably be feeding this once more before I actually bake with it. I was actually thinking of doing like a little sort of tutorial type video of like how I actually do my sourdough, but essentially I am going to be at my partner's family's house for a lot of the next like couple of weeks. So as we are like dog sitting while they're on holiday, and so I just need to make sure that everything is sorted before I leave. Like Matilda is all fed up, and then she'll go in the fridge, just like hibernate her for a bit. So I tend to do it like quite thick, like it is almost more of like a paste, but that's just what I find works. And then that now, so I just move around the elastic band markers that I've got. So I have one for like where it starts off, and then the other one is for like where I see it sort of like rising to. And then I will just pop the lid back on, and then that will go back in the fridge.
So the last thing on my list that I'm going to be doing in my little slow morning in the kitchen is making some butter. So I do have a video on the actual like process of making butter and like 3 different ways you can make it. I now have a butter churner, which I absolutely love, but there are other ways that you can do it. I will try and add in like a link, whatever, so that you can click on that and go to that video now. But that was another thing on my list. It always gets done, basically, probably once a week.
So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate anyone who is still here at this point. Hopefully as well, the new mic is a little bit better. So it's been a work in progress. So thank you for just bearing with me, anyone who is like a regular watcher. If you're not and you've just ended up on this video, the audio on some of the previous videos is not the best. Like, it's fine. I'm a new YouTuber. Give me a break. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Always means the world. And equally, I would love to hear from you what content you are loving out of all the videos that I've done so far. I realise at the minute it's all sort of a bit higgledy-piggledy. I'm still sort of like experimenting with things and testing things out, seeing what I like, seeing what everyone else likes. So please do give me a feedback on that. I would love to know what you loved, what you didn't love, what you'd love to see more of, any of that sort of stuff. But anyway, I hope you have a lovely weekend and a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.